What causes the seasons? Our planet Earth rotates around its axis every 24 hours, giving us night and day. It also revolves around the sun every 365 days, 6 hours, and 9 minutes. Now, those extra 6 hours add up to 1 day every 4 years. Our planet Earth is not situated straight up and down. Instead, its axis is tilted at a 23-degree angle. If the Earth was straight up and down, the equator would receive a greater influence from the sun's rays than the poles. This would cause the equator to become super hot, while the poles would remain much cooler all year long. This would result in the equator feeling like summer all year long and the poles feeling like winter all year long. There would be very little change. The Earth's revolution around the sun and its tilt gives us the different seasons. As the Earth revolves around the sun, different parts of the Earth receive more sunlight than others. In June, the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. The sun's rays are closer to the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere, causing more heat energy to be transferred to the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere. The direct sun to the northern hemisphere and indirect sun to the southern hemisphere is why we have summer in June in the northern hemisphere, but winter in June in the southern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere's longest day of the year is around June 20th to 22nd, called the summer solstice. It coincides with the shortest day of the year for the southern hemisphere, which for them is the winter solstice. In December, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. The sun's rays are farther from the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere, causing less heat energy to be transferred to the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere. The indirect sun to the northern hemisphere and the direct sun to the southern hemisphere is why we have winter in December in the northern hemisphere, but summer in December in the southern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere's shortest day is around December 20th to 22nd, called the winter solstice. It coincides with the southern hemisphere's longest day of the year, which for them is the summer solstice. During September and March, the Earth is receiving about the same amount of energy on both hemispheres from the sun. The equinoxes are the halfway points between the summer and winter solstice. Now, during this time, the sun is directly above the equator. The equinoxes occur twice during the year, once around September 20th to 22nd. This is known as the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere and the vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere. Then again around March 20th to 22nd, known as the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere and the autumnal equinox in the southern hemisphere. Now, the northern hemisphere and southern hemispheres are always opposite in season. And here you can see how the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are directly opposite of each other. Thank you for watching another Adventures in ISTEM and Beyond video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Adventures in ISTEM and Beyond videos. For more ideas on how to incorporate science, technology, and skills for life into your classroom, go to adventuresinistem.com.